Alright everyone, here we are with ticker symbol OCGN, Ocugen Inc. And before we jump into OCGN stock, I want to say welcome to all the first time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So here we are with Ocugen. I did a video in the morning because we needed to be very cautious of how the stock was reacting. There was a few indicators showing that it was going to hit newer lows, but it actually held itself up pretty well, and it kind of just stayed there, in a sideways movement, but it did hit new lows from that 222 mark and 23 mark that we were talking about early on in the morning. Across the 50-day moving average at that point. So the 50-day moving average right now is sitting at 224. Super important to keep that in mind. 224 is our current 50-day moving average. This is in a state of tug of war. Either the bulls are going to reappear and bring this up and form the staircase effect, right, and continue to bring themselves up to newer highs, or this is actually going to get dominated by the bears. It's going to be very important to watch this carefully. This is something that has settled down quietly here, and yes, it settled down here and it ran up pretty fast here, right? But the thing is that it was settling down after a big fall. When you look at this, right, that was a big fall that this took. Now this wasn't a big fall and it's settling down. Right now this is in a state of tug of war for the bulls and bears to dominate this. So it is slightly dominated right now by the bulls, but it does not mean that the bulls have control. We need to watch this carefully. So I'm going to talk about this very narrow based off of what the chart is showing us the last couple hours of the day, and then we're going to talk about this a little bit broader. So we're going to talk about based off the lowest point of the day, after where I left off in that video that I was talking about. We need to watch this carefully, and I'm going to talk about the highest point here leveled off, and then I'm going to talk about the highest point reached in the day. So right now it looks like the bears are building momentum, but when we look at the volume, right, it's really low. I mean, this took a hit here, and this was close to about 3:30 leading into 4 p.m. and not every single one of the shares in this candlestick was a sell, but it was dominated by the bears because it's red. So it means that there was more selling or more outflow than inflow based off of what the candlestick is showing us. And it's showing us 120,000 shares bought and sold in that time frame, and it's a red candlestick and it went down. So that means that there was more outflow. Now you go to the next one and it's going up and it's 3,000. You go to the next one and it's going up and it's 200. Those are very small amounts compared to 120. So we need to watch this carefully. And you can see here that in this run it was 100,000, and on the run down there was one point that was like 500,000. So it's being dominated by outflow than inflow based off of the candlesticks. That's what I'm going off of right now and what I'm seeing. And it's going to be very important, like I said, to watch this carefully. This is in a state of tug of war, and it might seem like the bulls can pull this up, but they have some real numbers to break through. They can't just slightly break through these numbers. So let's look at this. So the lowest point here from yesterday to today is 162. I'd write that down. I think that's probably one of the most important numbers to keep in mind, because if that gets broken through, this will start to see newer lows and pull back in a downward direction significantly deeper into bearish territory. So you want to keep that number in mind in the near term, coming days and weeks. Now, the highest point before this started to fall is 254. I think that is a significant resistance level. I think that is probably one of the most important resistance levels in this whole entire chart right now. Reason being is because that's where the bulls were trying to hold up before they started to fall and go into bearish territory. Super important, right? So 254 is very, very important. And I think that's going to let us know how much further away this is pulled away from the 50-day moving average in the upward direction. And it's getting closer to the highest point reached and that crazy volatility in one candlestick all the way up to 271. So very important to break through 254 so that this can get towards 271 and then reach newer highs. So we want to watch this, like I said, closely. Now, the 50-day moving average is 224, as I stated, and we're currently sitting at 228. It's a 4-cent difference. So tug of war, like I said, is going to be a big deal moving forward in the next couple of hours and tomorrow throughout the day. So let's see our support here. Our support is 210. If 210 gets broken through, the bears accomplished two things. They broke through the 50-day moving average, getting into bearish territory, and they broke through support. By breaking through support, they're getting deeper into bearish territory, deeper into hitting newer lows and newer support levels. So we want to watch this very carefully, and how fast does it go there, and how fast does it pull away from it in the downward direction. So very important to keep that in mind, and that's the lowest point reached in the day. So between 210 and the next support here of 179, it's not that far of a distance, and you're going to want to watch how this stock is reacting in between those two support levels and if the bulls are trying to reappear. Now, the bulls need to break through this, and it's significant, but like I said, 254 and 271 are very important numbers to break through to pull further away from the 50-day moving average, but to build momentum to head in that direction, they need to break through this highest point here that we've seen this level off at, and that is 232. 232 needs to be turned into a support so that the bulls can pull away from it, get deeper into bullish territory, hit newer highs, and maintain their momentum and stay in bullish territory so that they can start gaining leverage in this tug of war. 232, very important for the bulls to break through. Now, I know I've said the most important is 254 and 271 is to break through the highest points, but this is very important as well. The most important is 254 to pull further into bullish territory, but to start the catalyst and even build momentum and stay in bullish territory, this is the most important. If not, the bulls could be on their way to losing control over the chart in this tug of war. So 232 needs to be broken through. Every other resistance level needs to be broken through as well, but 232 begins the staircase effect to start to work their way up, to hit newer highs, and work their way up into these newer levels of resistance and pull themselves up and continue the momentum, right? You could see the momentum forming. You could see how they form momentum here, and they turn this into a support, and the momentum continues, right? And it goes into the next and the next and the newer resistance levels, leading back up to, right, 280 and back up here at 304, which are just as important moving forward. But right now we need to focus on what's going on here, because these are baby steps to get there due to the fact of the volatility of this stock and how it's reacting. But right now, most importantly in the near term, and the closest resistance level is 232, and it needs to be broken through. The bulls can't just sit there and not break through it, because if not, the bears are going to start to dominate this chart. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.